Mom, when your sweet rescue dog suddenly freezes in pure terror at a completely harmless sound, do you secretly lie awake at night, terrified that they will never, ever forget the people who broke their heart? I'm Claire, and I want to welcome you to Frenchiology, our safe, cozy little sanctuary. I know you love your dog with every ounce of your being, and I know how much it hurts when experts say dogs don't remember past owners. Those cold, strict internet trainers will look you right in the eye and tell you that dogs only live in the present moment. They carelessly claim that you are just humanizing your pet and that your rescue dog only stays by your side because you are the one filling their food bowl every morning. Please, Mom, put down whatever you are doing, sit perfectly still with me, and let me lift that terrible, isolating doubt right off your tired shoulders. You are not crazy, you are not imagining things, and you have absolutely not done anything wrong. The truth is, modern neuroscience has completely shattered those cold, outdated training myths. Your sweet dog possesses something called episodic memory, combined with the most powerful, complex olfactory system on the entire planet. They do not just vaguely remember their past owners. They vividly remember every single old habit, every moment of blinding pain, and every rare, desperately needed hug from their broken past. Today, while the rain falls outside, I am going to gently walk you through the 5 tear-jerking biological signs that prove your dog is constantly remembering their past. And most importantly, I am going to hand you the beautiful, progressive, silent antidotes to help them finally let go of that trauma and show you why their choice to love you right now is the greatest miracle of all. Number 1, the terrifying phenomenon of the phantom trigger. Let's dive deep into the ancient, primitive biology of their brain, specifically a tiny almond-shaped alarm center called the amygdala. In the brutal, unforgiving wild, if a wolf wants to survive to see another day, it must permanently, chemically burn the exact silhouette of a predator into its memory. So when your rescue dog suddenly cowers in absolute terror at a completely harmless object in your living room, they are not being stubborn and they are not trying to misbehave. They are literally seeing a horrific ghost from their past, and that phantom is instantly triggering a red alert biological panic throughout their entire bloodstream. Picture a beautiful sunny Saturday morning down at your bustling local farmer's market. You are holding your coffee. Your sweet dog is happily trotting by your side, when a completely harmless older gentleman wearing a faded red baseball cap casually walks past your vegetable stand. Your dog doesn't just look at him. Their entire body violently recoils. They scramble frantically backward to hide directly between your knees, shaking like a fragile leaf in a winter storm. Or think about a quiet afternoon when you simply pull your long wooden mop handle out of the hallway closet to do some basic chores. The moment that wooden handle accidentally bumps against the drywall with a loud thud, your precious dog instantly pins their ears back, drops their belly to the floor, and scrambles desperately to hide under the darkest corner of the guest bed. Mom, here is your progressive healing antidote, a technique I proudly call the physical shield. When that phantom appears and they panic, you must fiercely resist your maternal urge to immediately kneel down, pet them, and coo, "It's okay, baby." Coddling them in that exact moment biologically confirms to their panicked brain that the red hat or the broom handle truly is a deadly monster worth fearing. Instead, I want you to confidently take one massive step forward, using your own legs and your own body to create an impenetrable physical wall right between your dog and the trigger. You are using the silent, ancient language of the wild pack to boldly say, Mom is the absolute leader here. Mom sees the ghost, and Mom will block this monster so you don't have to. Number 2, the heartbreaking magic of the scent time machine. We humans rely heavily on old photographs and home videos to meticulously catalog our most precious memories. But a dog's olfactory bulb is a miraculous organ. They physically store the entire sprawling narrative of their entire life within complex, layered molecules of scent. When a specific smell drifts into their nose, it bypasses logic completely and goes straight into the emotional center of their brain, forcefully dragging their soul back to a house they haven't seen in 6 years. Imagine it is the Christmas season, and you happily buy a thick vintage wool sweater from a local thrift store that carries the faint, dusty smell of mothballs and decaying cedar wood. Instead of settling down by the fire, your rescue dog paces anxiously around you, obsessively burying their nose into that old fabric for hours, their eyes turning glassy and distant. Occasionally, they let out a heavy, heartbreaking sigh, entirely lost in the memory of an elderly owner who once held them, a person who is probably long gone. Or picture walking your dog on a freezing winter evening, strolling past a neighbor's house where the warm, sweet smell of baking cinnamon apples is venting out into the street. Your dog suddenly hits the brakes, planting their paws firmly on the concrete, absolutely refusing to walk another single step forward. They just stand there in the freezing cold, squeezing their eyes shut, silently drowning in a beautiful, agonizing memory of a kitchen they once loved, a place you can never, ever take them back to. Mom, I want you to practice the 15-second grace period. When they freeze like that, please do not yank aggressively on the leash, and do not impatiently rush them to keep walking for the sake of your exercise routine. Let the leash go completely slack. Stand perfectly still beside them, shoulder to shoulder, and give them 15 quiet, respectful seconds to mentally visit the ghosts of their past. Allow them the dignity to grieve and remember. Once the time is up, gently bend down, pat their side, and use your warmest, deepest voice to softly say their name, safely anchoring their soul back into the beautiful present moment by your side. Number 3, the crushing sorrow of the melancholy window watch. It is incredibly easy to look at a dog staring out the window and assume they are just bored, or perhaps hoping to violently chase a squirrel across the lawn. But biology proves that dogs possess a flawless internal circadian rhythm. They possess a deep, intricate understanding of the daily passage of time. When your rescue dog rigidly waits at a specific window at the exact same hour every single day, it is not curiosity. It is the silent, devastating manifestation of canine grief, waiting for a pack member who mysteriously vanished from their life. I remember a woman crying as she told me how, exactly at 5 p.m. every single evening, her adopted basset hound would laboriously climb up onto the wooden bay window seat. He would rest his heavy, wrinkled chin on the cold windowsill and stare completely unblinking out at the empty driveway. She finally learned that his previous owner was a construction worker who drove a noisy blue pickup truck home at that exact hour every day before he tragically passed away. That dog was spending a portion of his day trapped in a time loop, hopelessly waiting for an engine sound that would never, ever come again. Or imagine the heartbreaking isolation of the Thanksgiving holidays. The house is brilliantly lit, completely filled with the joyous laughter of your children and the smell of roasting turkey. But your newly rescued dog refuses to stay in the warm kitchen. Instead, they choose to curl up into a tight, lonely ball right against the freezing cold draft of the front door, shivering silently. They are doing this because they vividly remember being cruelly locked out or abandoned during a chaotic family holiday in their past life. Mom, you must break this painful cycle with the new routine redirection. Do not let them sit there and drown in their own melancholy. If they wait at the window at 5 p.m., I want you to walk over at exactly 4:55 p.m. and firmly pull those heavy curtains shut. You must actively rewrite the history of that specific hour. The moment you close the blinds, hand them a frozen Kong toy stuffed generously with sweet peanut butter. Or sit down on the rug and run a soft brush through their fur. You are using your massive present love to literally overwrite their tragic past, teaching their brain that this hour now brings joy, not abandonment. Number 4, the terrifying paralysis of the dream whimper. We love to watch our dogs sleep, but REM sleep in a canine is not just a time for physical rest. It is an intense, vivid, cinematic replay of their entire life. When their physical body completely relaxes and their conscious guard is down, the horrific memories they suppress during the day, the starvation, the brutal screaming of past owners, violently surge to the surface. In the dead of night, you might wake up to see your sweet rescue dog sleeping on their expensive orthopedic bed. But suddenly, all 4 of their legs start kicking frantically. They bare their teeth, and a high-pitched, choked, agonizing whimper escapes their throat, sounding exactly like they are actively enduring a brutal punishment right there in your bedroom. Or picture waking up at 3 a.m. to find them sitting bolt upright in the dark, their eyes blown wide open, staring blankly at the ceiling. They are panting heavily and compulsively smacking their dry lips, trapped in a terrifying twilight zone, having completely forgotten that they are safe in your house. Your immediate maternal instinct is to grab their shoulders, shake them awake, and hug them tight. But Mom, you must stop. Startling a dog out of a trauma nightmare will trigger a violent blind bite reflex. Instead, I want you to use the low-pitch anchor method. Do not touch their body whatsoever. Simply sit up in bed, drop your voice into the absolute deepest, lowest, most rumbling register you possess, and slowly, rhythmically repeat their name. I am right here. You are safe. Mom has you. Let the low, steady vibration of your voice act as a sturdy biological lifeline, gently pulling their sinking soul out of the nightmare and safely back to the shore of your bedroom. Finally, number 5. The profound miracle of selective trust. The experts claim that dogs only bond with whoever is holding the leash today, but they ignore the magnificent flexibility of the canine brain, a concept called neuroplasticity. When an animal is severely traumatized, it builds towering, impenetrable biological walls around its heart to survive the abuse. They don't just blindly forget their abusers, but their brain possesses the awe-inspiring ability to consciously rewire its own structure to learn to trust a new, worthy leader. I want you to remember those agonizing first 6 months after you adopted them. They were so terrified that they would absolutely never let you touch their front paws, snapping fiercely if you even brought a towel near them. But then, picture a quiet, rainy Sunday afternoon in your study. You are simply reading a book, asking nothing of them, when suddenly they walk over, sit down, and entirely voluntarily place their heavy, massive front paw directly into the open palm of your hand. Or think about how they spent a whole year sleeping tightly curled in a defensive ball on the cold floor across the room. But last night, for the very first time, they crawled up onto your mattress, let out a massive, shuddering sigh, and pressed the entire length of their vulnerable back firmly against your legs. When these profound miracles happen, Mom, you must use the slow blink of acceptance. Do not ruin the fragile moment by squealing with joy, grabbing their face, and smothering them with frantic kisses. You will startle them and rebuild the wall. Instead, respect the staggering bravery it took for them to offer you their broken heart. Simply look down at them with the softest, gentlest eyes you possess. Narrow your gaze and blink very, very slowly. You are using the ancient silent language of the wolf to whisper, "I see the gift you are giving me. I promise I will never, ever betray this trust." Mom, please take your glasses off, set down your tea, and look right at me. Those arrogant experts were bitterly, entirely wrong. Your sweet dog remembers their tragic past with crystal clarity. They carry invisible, agonizing scars, and they carry the heavy, dark memories of the cruel people who abandoned them in the cold. But do you know what that truly means for you, Mom? It means that when they bravely choose to walk across the room and curl up under your feet today, it is absolutely not a blind, foolish instinct. It is an incredibly conscious, staggeringly courageous decision. Out of all the terrifying things in this massive world, they looked at you, and they consciously chose you to be their final, eternal safe haven. You must be so incredibly proud of yourself. Throwing your arms wide open to welcome a shattered soul, and patiently, lovingly using your own heart to piece their broken nervous system back together. That is the most magnificent, heroic act a mother could ever possibly achieve on this earth. Your love was strong enough to literally rewrite their tragic history. Tonight, when your sweet graying dog is sleeping soundly by the fire, I want you to look at them and feel a fierce, swelling pride for the absolute peace you have gifted them. And please, before you go to bed, grab your tea, come down to the comments and tell me, what is the most bizarre, quirky habit your rescue dog carried over from their past life? Do they meticulously hoard socks in a corner? Do they refuse to walk on certain rugs? Share it with us. Nobody here will ever judge your beautiful, scarred babies. Please subscribe to Frenchiology, Mom. Together, we are going to continue healing these invisible wounds and make sure their twilight years are nothing but pure joy. Warmly, Claire.